Over 20 persons, including 19 protesters and one policeman, were on Thursday killed in some states as the nationwide End-Bad Governance protest began in Nigeria. Most of the dead victims were killed by security operatives as more than 200 protesters were arrested across the country with billions of naira worth of goods and properties destroyed by the aggrieved Nigerians who took to the street following what many called hunger in the land due to the high cost living biting more hard in the country since President Bola Tinubu came into power on May 29, 2023. Since Tinubu came into power, prices of foodstuffs have continued to be on the increased side, apparently due to some political decisions the president took to address the economic situation in the country right from the day he was sworn into power. Videos and official statements from various states in the country on Thursday indicated that 3 protesters were killed in Kano State, 6 killed in Niger State, 3 killed in Kaduna State, 1 killed in Abuja, 2 killed in Jigawa State, and 4 protesters were killed allegedly by bomb explosion in Borno State. Some Nigerians on social media believe the 4 persons in Borno State were killed by security operatives, but the Inspector General of Police (IGP) at a press briefing on Thursday evening said the protesters were killed by bomb explosion. The 4 protesters were killed at Bolori Junction along Baga Road in Borno State. The IGP said 1 police officer was murdered with several others injured by some protesters he described as hoodlums. It was gathered that no fewer than 50 persons in Katsina State suspected to be responsible for the hijack of the protest in the state which led to violence have been arrested by the State Police Command. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Abubakar Sadiq, told journalists on Thursday that the state is relatively calm as the protest has been contained. Nigeria Police Force confirms it had arrested over 157 persons in Kano State. Amnesty International has condemned the killing of protesters allegedly by security personnel across Nigeria, describing the incident as unjustified and unacceptable. Inspector General of Police Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun during the press briefing said in quote, "Thus it is with great sense of responsibility that I address you this evening. You will recall that upon several indications by various groups of their intent to commence a nationwide protest on the 1st of August 2024, we rolled out several warnings based on actionable intelligence at our disposal indicating that some groups were mobilizing our youth for violent protests with intent to create anarchy in the country. While some groups claiming to be mobilizing for peaceful protests were doing so with violent undertones, refusing to cooperate with the police on measures to be taken to guarantee peaceful protest. On the basis of this intelligence, the police advised that the protest should be shelved at the instant time. Where the organizers insisted on going on with the protests, they were advised to stage the protest in confined locations. This would have enabled the police provide adequate protection for the protesters and isolate the criminals whose intention was to loot and destroy in the name of a protest. This we were doing in furtherance of our duty to protect lives and property and maintaining law and order. While we affirm the constitutional rights of citizens to assemble and express their views on issues of national importance, we were wary about the dangers posed by agitation instigated by some individuals who have shown tendencies to be disloyal to the government of the day. Despite our suspicions, we showed good faith through professional conduct by providing security at strategic locations, all aimed at ensuring peaceful conduct during the protest as the promoters pledged. Our men deployed nationwide went out with a clear brief to ensure that no one is unnecessarily harassed or intimidated. In places where there were court orders, we gave instructions for observance of same. Regrettably, events in some major cities today showed that what was being instigated was mass uprising and looting, not protest. Those who were in the forefront of promoting the idea of the protest were not around to lead it. Hoodlums have been let loose on innocent Nigerians and their hard-earned businesses and property looted and destroyed. The motive of the rioters was basically to loot and destroy both private and government property. The destruction so far has been mind-boggling. There has been destruction in Kano, Borno, Yobe, Kaduna, Gombe, Bauchi, FCT Abuja, Niger, Jigawa. Police stations have been destroyed. There has been attempts to take over government houses, looting of government infrastructures. Several warehouses and shops have so far been looted and, in several instances, completely destroyed. In spite of the refusal of the protesters, for instance in FCT to adhere to a court order requesting that protests in Abuja should be at the National Stadium, they trooped into the streets, and yet the police provided security for them. At no point did we breach their fundamental rights even as they breached court order. In places like FCT, Kaduna, Kano and Gombe, among others, we recorded incidents of unprovoked attacks on security personnel, where one policeman has been reported murdered and others seriously injured. We alerted earlier on that terror elements may take advantage of the protests to infiltrate the crowd of protesters with suicide bombers. Yesterday in Lagos, our EOD team was informed of a suspected IED on Bank Anthony Way Ikeja. The team responded swiftly and rendered safe what turned out to be an improvised explosive device wide. Today in Borno State, we recorded one incident of explosion which occurred in the crowd of protesters, killing 4 instantly and severely injuring 34 others, many of whom are presently on danger list. We wish to advise law-abiding citizens of Nigeria to heed and not dismiss warnings given by the police and other security agencies which were based on credible and actionable security intelligence. In the light of the current situation, the Nigeria Police Force has placed all units on red alert. Our officers are fully mobilized and prepared to respond swiftly and decisively to any further threats to public safety and order. We remain committed and resolute to protecting lives and property and ensuring that law and order are maintained across the nation. Groups who are hiding under the guise of exercise of a right provided in the Constitution to destabilize the country should remember that the same Constitution imposed on them the duty to obey the laws of the land and respect the rights of other citizens. The police is equipped to respond appropriately to the unfolding situation and will get assistance from other security agencies, including the military if the need arises. We appeal to all citizens to remain calm and cooperate with the police and other security agencies during this challenging period. Your safety is our top priority, and we will continue to take all necessary measures to ensure continued peace and stability in our country. Thank you, the IGP stated. The Director of Mobilization, Take It Back Movement, Damilare Adenola, said the protest would continue until President Bola Tinubu acceded to their demands. The protesters said they are demanding the reversal of petrol pump price to 100 naira per litre and to insecurity, the closing of IDP camps and electoral reform, among other things. Adenola said the various orders of court restricting protesters to particular locations are an aberration. Our presence here today is an announcement that we have been oppressed for too long. Today, we have reason. We are saying that unless President Bola Tinubu acceded to our demands, we will remain on the streets. We want to see the president on the streets. During the protest, he was on the streets. One of the organizers of the protest, Michael Lenin, said it would continue on Friday, today, regardless of the intimidation by the security agencies. He told reporters that the protest will continue. We are not intimidated by what the security agencies do. This government does not appear like one ready to listen to the citizens with the way protesters were attacked today. We are resolute. Until he meets our demands, we will remain on the streets.
Sazuwa Konnede, bringing you the news in a more digital way.